Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So I'm always running around like a mad woman just before it's time to go live, and I can't find my silly cell phone. So I'm going to try to pull the chat up on my iPad if I can so that I can see the chat and not get a feedback. Okay, so garden quilt and art traditions. How is everybody doing? So Blissful Acres. Hello, Susan. Maria Graham. Susan again. Kay Renee's Garden. Sissy Joanne Stevens. I was trying to stay cool. Did you see the cloth around my neck? I was sweating. Cece's Texas Garden. Hello, everybody, and thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sissy, Joanne Stevens, if you can you send to the link to YouTube to Sonia so that mom can see it? Okay, am I getting an echo, everybody, or am I loud and clear? Because I'm trying something different tonight as far as trying to see the chat. I never tried to look at it on my on the iPad, and I'm trying to pull it up. Learn something new every day, right? It's got to be more than one way to skin a cat. I don't know why it's giving me all this other stuff I don't want, but we'll figure it out or not, right? Hi, Cheryl. Cheryl Faulkner. She says, I'm good. I'm good. So then I will just go ahead with the task at hand. So today we're going to do part 2 of the making the cloth postcards. Did everybody have fun? Hey, Bouger Prepper, thank you for coming and welcome. I just won't be able to see what you're saying in the chat. Trying to figure out how to do it. But why don't I pay attention to what I can do? So, Susan Blissful Acres off grid. Today we are going to do part 2 of making the mini quilts or the postcards, the cloth postcards. How many of you have a sewing machine at all, or a workable sewing machine? Can you put one in the chat? Anybody who owns a working sewing machine, you don't have to have it up right now. I just want to know if you have one. So Maria Graham has one. Everybody else is faking because they think I'm going to ask them to come up with it. Okay. Joanne Stevens has one. Okay. So I'm going to put the iPad away and concentrate on what I can do. I was running around at the last minute trying to prep for you guys, and I probably covered my cell phone up. Guess what? I stupid. I want to say freaking found it, but maybe mommy won't be here. What I did is I was putting everything together and threading a needle. How many of you have a needle and thread in your house? You have, but you keep giving them away, CC. Well, that's okay because I have something cool for you today. And the first thing we're going to do is to make a fabric postcard by hand. But generally, what I want to tell you for those of you who are new is that a lot of people didn't know that you can mail a postcard that's made of fabric. And yes, you can. Hi, Auntie Bev Jones. And this segment is especially for you or anybody who knows how or likes to hand sew, because everything that was done everything that's done by machine was done by hand. Everybody should probably have a needle and thread, but they're not going to admit it, Maria. They think I'm going to ask them to do something or come up. But what I want to show you is a couple of things. Thursday, for those of you who were here, we started working on a postcard and my machine started acting up. But I just want you to see that I finished my homework, and this is a fabric postcard. The reason I'm calling it, hello, my Renaissance grandma, and thank you for coming, is because technically a quilt has 3 layers, which is a top, batting, and backing. So in this case, we didn't really put any batting in here, but we easily can. We easily can. Cece said this is cute. So this is just one piece of fabric that I cut out by hand. You don't need a rotary cutter. Although I did find a rotary cutter at the $1.25 store, and I brought one of them home so that I could show it to you guys. And it looks like this. I haven't tried to use it because I use bigger ones, but for $1.25, it can't be bad. And they had a little cutting board that was. Hold on one second, I'll get it for you, because I bought one just to show you guys that it's manageable and that you can do it. So, this is the little cutting board at the $1.25 store. But I will have to warn you, when you use these boards, do not use a regular ruler. You do not use a razor blade and something an inch away from your fingers. And when you are cutting with a rotary cutter, you can at least get a pair of those knobby gloves like this. And you put the knobby gloves on your non-cutting hand. And the reason is so that if the rotary cutter slips, it hits the glove and not your hand. These are $1.25. Maria, if you just hold on, you guys, I will go through the whole thing from beginning to end. Okay, what you do, how you stamp it, all the questions I will answer. So just hold on to that question. I answered it actually in Thursday's video if you guys want to go and look at it. But I'm going to go from beginning to end. But I don't want you to miss anything by going back and forth in the chat, asking questions, and miss what I'm going to tell you to do. So, this is a magazine article from like 15, 20 years ago. And the reason I'm showing you this is to show you some other fabric postcards. And I want to tell you this. You can also embellish them. You can put buttons on them. You can put other things that will pass through. I also want to show you that I have a postcard in here, and it's kind of a crazy quilt. You see the little baby in there, the picture? You can take a picture, any picture that you have, and put it on cloth and run it through the printer. It needs to be an inkjet printer. And you need to find one of the small, what, Susan? Okay, so You can buy inkjet art paper already prepared. And what this is, it is a type of fabric paper. If I put it real close, maybe you can see the grain in it. You see the grain in it? If I keep it still so the camera can see it. So this is basically a piece of fabric that they have treated that you can run through the printer. You can also make your own inkjet paper. You take a piece of freezer paper and you iron it on the back of unbleached muslin, and what you will get will be, I did some ahead of time for you. You guys, Maria Graham is cheating. She called me today and got all the instructions. So she made a couple today. So she wants to jump ahead in the class, but she has to stay with the rest of us. So this is just a piece of freezer paper ironed on the back of unbleached muslin. So what we're going to do today, and we're going to start out, we're going to do it by hand, okay? I'm going to do, does anybody have any questions that they want to ask me before we start? Okay. Because there's more to getting it hand stamped to mail it, and I'll show you when we get to that part. There are other things you need to do. So I'll keep this as a sample. We'll call this the front. We'll call this the back. Okay? And what we're going to do, if anybody has a needle and thread, is just thread an ordinary needle and thread. Now, a postcard, any postcard in the United States, this is a template I made out of a 5x8 card. And the 5x8 card I cut down and just wrote the name postcard across the top. Where it's 6 inches across the top or bottom, I went down the middle and I drew a line at the 3-inch line. Then I put lines where you put the name and address and zip code. But we're going to do all that together, and we're going to do it in order so that it doesn't get confusing about what you do at what time. So this is the template. Now, I want to show you how to do it by hand. So here's a piece of fabric. This is if you're doing it totally by hand. And we're going to do something called fussy cut. Hello, Robin M. Thanks, everybody. And if you could hit the thumbs up. I can't really see the chat. Although I actually can pull it up right now. If you give me a minute, now that I found this stupid phone, I hate a dark color phone. It gets stuck in other things and then I can't see it. Okay. So they will. It doesn't say that I'm live yet. Just a minute, you guys, because I want to see what you're saying. Still can't. Might take it a while to bring it up. Okay, I'll put it in the stand. So what we're going to do is basically what I did with the sewing machine, but we're going to do it by hand. So I'm going to push this over. And I'm going to try to center this piece of paper that I'm using for a pattern. And I'm totally going to do it by hand because everybody doesn't have a bunch of fancy equipment. And to show you how easy it is to do by hand. So I'm going to cut this piece. This is what you call fussy cutting, when you cut something like in the middle of a pattern, you just want to get a piece of something out. And I didn't pin the top and the bottom. I will do it now. And it won't be exactly even, but we're going to trim it all up. Yes, I just want to make sure you can see my hands. So Auntie Bev and those of you, Auntie Bev, this is a perfect little project for like you're traveling or going someplace. And the other thing, you guys, we're going to have a little giveaway at the end of our session, and we don't have to go. So this is leftover fabric, but we're not going to throw it away. We're going to use it for other things. So this will be the top. We'll pretend we're making a little Thanksgiving card, okay? Then what you use for stabilizer is something I use, heat and bond. I use heat and bond light because it's sewable and it's easy. It's fairly easy to sew through with a needle and thread or on the sewing machine. So I have cut some out, and it's already 4x6. See, and I write on it. I cut some ahead because you can do this, and then you can have it on your lunch break if you work. Now, heat and bond, I want to get it real close. It has like a rough side and it has a paper side. So what we're going to do is put the rough side down against the fabric for a stabilizer. And I'm going to plug in, I have all these little kits over here to show you guys. So we're going to use this little iron. And put it right here. And we're going to fuse it down. Let me plug it in and get a hat. I didn't want to knock it over while I was waiting. So it has a very long plug, and I will plug it in. Okay. This is just a little miniature iron. I'm coming right back, you guys, and I will plug the big iron on. I just want to show you at the table. Hi, Hershey. So it'll be faster. Mr. Hershey came over. He wonders, why is my mom yelling so much? So this is the front of the piece we're going to work on. I'm going to bring this over, and I don't use adhesive on my good ironing board or the one that you do your clothes on. Hi, Jones Truth. Thank you for coming and welcome. So I'm going to iron it on the back of here. So it goes like this, but this iron is taking a long time to heat up. Auntie Bill says, hey, Mr. Hershey. Hershey, where are you? Come here. Come. You guys, I've never showed you. Come here. They want to see you. Come on, up. Good boy. He's 10 years old. He's actually blind, but he's such a good little watchdog. Say hi, Mr. Hershey. Okay, now get down so mommy doesn't burn her fabric. So this is just a little carry iron I take like when I go to classes with the embroidery machine or when I teach an arts and craft class. So this is totally how you can do it by hand to make a card. Okay, I'll be right back. This one's taking too long. I'm going to hit it one shot with the big iron to make sure it's sealed all the way down. So, oops, I dropped it, of course. When you're trying to hurry up and do something, of course it falls. So, you see it's all stuck. It's one piece now, but you have to wait for it to cool. You have to wait for it to cool. So, I'm going to move this iron out of the way while it's cooling. We're going to go on to the next part. Okay. Now it's telling me that I'm live. Okay. Okay. Turn the sound off. Now I can see the chat. I can see you guys. Okay, so while that is cooling, we will work on the back. And the back is a piece of unbleached muslin, just plain unbleached muslin. And we're going to take a pen, and it could be any type of a pen. I bought some. Does anybody make succotash? Okay, well, right now, Darthex, we're doing a postcard, and I can make good succotash, but I just can't do it and do this at the same time. So we're going to take the ruler, and I will get my 3-inch ruler. I want to make sure that you guys can see my hands. And we're going to draw a line down the middle like you would a regular postcard. Okay? So one side you write on. What we're going to do now is put the lines that you address it on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then we're going to write on here so that people know what it is. Postcard. Okay, it says postcard. So this is the area when he goes to the post office that it will be hand stamped, but there's something else you have to do. Now, this is cool down that we iron. So you pull, hey, African Dreamin', April or Jay. Thank you for coming and welcome. So when with the heat and bond light, and you can use any type of fusible you like. You can use batting, you can use whatever. Then you take and you pull the paper off. You pull it off slowly. And actually, I think I'll save this because I have an idea. Then you have adhesive on the back of here. So it's like a double-sided glue. And for this one, I think I want to put some, you can put batting, or you can use another type of interfacing, which I have a piece cut out. Okay. Actually, I'll just do it right along with you. So for batting, I use cotton batting, you guys. Just a piece of cotton batting. And you can use the piece of paper that you took off the back of here or whatever. And what you're going to do is cut a piece of batting. And it can't be a big, thick, it can't be big and thick. So I use 100% cotton batting or 80% cotton batting. Can you guys see my hands? Auntie Bev, I know you like to sew by hand. And I love these postcards that are done with lots of piecing. We'll do one on the sewing machine in a second as well. And I'll show you a different pattern. Okay. So now here's the front of the back of the postcard. The front. And then you decide which side you want to be up. I think I like it this way. Then we're going to hit it with the iron again. Why? Because we've got that heat and bond on the other side of here. Yes, you see you. Hello, everybody. African Dreamin'. So I just want you guys to know that you don't have to have a sewing machine. So that's a little hot. I'm going to put it over there and let it cool a minute. So what's the temperature? How's the temperature where everybody is? And what grow zones are you in, or what states are you? Oh, for those of you who don't know, African Dreamin' is in Tanzania. So I am putting a little pin on here because I want you to see how easy this actually is to do by hand. April, I know that you don't always have running electricity. I know that you can't always um, do the things like we do here in the States. Joanne Stevens says it's still 1:15 in Arizona. Cold but not bad. Oh yeah, the seasons are reversed over there. I forgot. Maria Graham, 95. Gina, Jean only got to 80s. It's about like here today. So this should be cool enough for me to touch. And April, this is for you especially as well to see that you can make these. As a matter of fact, Auntie is going to make one, not this one, a special one, and mail it to you so that it has the timestamp. So unfortunately, I'm doing this in I double knitted and I use all-purpose thread. If you use all-purpose thread, you could use it on the sewing machine. I knotted it, and so check this out. So I'm going to start on the underside so that you can't see the stitches. And this is a good project to do with your children, your grandchildren. And see, you can just do a simple running stitch. You see how I'm stitching? No, you can't see it there. And it could be big stitches. It doesn't have to be little stitches. I actually have a thimble over here that I like using. Or I have an idea. I'm trying to do things for if you don't have all these things like thimbles, April may not have access to a thimble. You take the needle, it's going through, you put it down on something flat and use like the flat desk to push it through. Voila. You see how easy that is? Or, well, somebody told me don't say it's easy. So, and I won't do so many stitches at one time. I'll just do like 1, 2, 1, 2 bougie prepper. You're out camping and you want to send somebody a permanent postcard when you're out in the backwoods or some big camp out. This is what you do. So I'm hand stitching. And it doesn't have to be neat. It doesn't have to be like it was machine sewn. The thing is, it's going to be fun. So we're just going to keep going one stitch at a time around the edge. And mind you, this has a piece of batting as well as the heat and bond. But it's still pretty easy to do. I have pretty long, strong fingers, and it's a pretty sturdy needle. What a lot of people make these postcards for is for Christmas. And what I'm going to do is I was working on something with a lot of red fabrics and Christmas fabrics. We're going to do a giveaway in a little while. And the little pieces that I use for making postcards, they're really much prettier if you use multiple fabrics. I'm just showing you how easy it is to do with one. Now I'm getting to the corner. I'm going to start and go the other way. Look, so we have the top done already. Kids at camp can do this and send it to their mothers. Pieces of April is African Dreamin'. April has her own channel now, and she'll be talking about things that she particularly likes to do about her hair. She likes to paint. She likes to do other things, other arts and crafts. It was like I was smelling something, but I forgot that little iron is on over there. So this is how you hand make a postcard. So April, I'm tagging you. I'm going to challenge you to make a postcard and mail it to Auntie Ellen. And have it postmarked and everything so I can show everybody. And I will make you one and send it to you over there just to show that it can be done. I used to belong to a postcard club where it was actually, I think, on Facebook, but a lot of us in different parts of the world, Australia, New Zealand, other places, we mailed them to each other. And with the stamp, and there's something else you can do to make it permanent so that it lasts forever and ever. And I mean forever. And I'll show you what that is in a second. There are some special sleeves. Oh, wait, I'll get to that in 1 second. Just coming around the corner. So, Auntie Bev, I know you made your journal by hand. This is a lot smaller, and you see we're doing it just as we go. Merrily, we sew along. And then when I finish this, I'm going to show you how to make a really pieced, fancy one on the sewing machine. But I don't want to do everything on the sewing machine. The people who don't sew on a sewing machine will be left out. I try to do something that makes it accessible for everybody. So the thread ran out. So I just tied a little knot. I'm going to put it through the other side. And what I want to show you is that they're just big stitches. You see that? They're just big running stitches. And that's all it needs to get through to the post office. It doesn't have to be a big fancy thing. That's why I want to show you that you can do it by hand. Hey, Felicia, how are you doing? Thank you for coming. Felicia likes to do arts and crafts. Hello, Barb Brownlee. We're making postcards by hand and by machine. So I'm threading the needle. And for most quilting, I mentioned you guys, you never use white thread. You use like off-white or a gray or something. And then it doesn't look like an eyesore. So oops, I missed. Okay. And nowadays, in the old days, they used to lick their fingers and tie the knots. No more licking your fingers. It may take a minute. Or you can get some water. So there's a knot. It's a little bit raggedy, so we'll trim him. We will trim him. Would any of you, how many of you would be interested in a raffle of making Christmas card, a permanent Christmas card to send someone? You know what, these postcards are really good for, like baby announcements, wedding announcements, or souvenirs, things like that. You go on vacation, you're sitting in the hotel. Most hotels have a sewing kit, an emergency kit. You know that, right? You just ask them for it, and it's pre-threaded. So I'm just going to the edge here. And we have one more little side, and this will be finished. Take this clip out. Yeah, I just want to make sure you can see my hands. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking about it, but I wonder if anybody won that $1 billion in the lottery. I didn't even go out to get a ticket today. I was working in the garden. I planted some more ginger. It's finally warm enough in Connecticut where you can plant anything you want. The nights are actually cool down in the 60s. Gina is in zone 6B as well in Ohio, and it was about in the 80s today. But I went out there and just bought some store ginger. I already have ginger planted, but I went and got some more because I'm greedy and I really like ginger. I thought the squirrels had dug it up because it took so long this time. I usually start it inside and I didn't. Okay, so we're at the corner. This whole thing has been stitched. So I'm making a loop, pushing the needle through to make a knot. It's knotted, then I'm gonna push it through to the bottom and not stick myself too many times. And cut the thread. So I'm going to knot this part so I don't have to look for it next time I get ready to hand sew. My dad told me that when my grandma used to quilt, he used to go to the store and she used to tell him to Joseph, get a size 8 needle. So what I want you to see how this looks. It looks a little rugged, but it's a handmade card. That's what it's supposed to do. And when you get some pretty fabric, I have a lot of pretty batiks, pretty African fabrics. I'm just doing this. And then the edges that you have to trim off, there's a batting showing a little bit over here. I'm going to trim this. Okay, now what I wanted to tell you is this is ready to be mailed, or what you can do is you can send this to somebody and let them mail it out. Okay, and what you do is you take it, you have the postmaster hand stamp in the corner, right? If you're mailing it to somebody, you put, Dear April in Tanzania, I hope this card finds you well, Auntie Ellen. Now, if I were really going to send this out, I would put one of my personal labels in the corner. But what I wanted to show you about mailing it is after the postmaster, after the postmaster stamps it, that's not the end of it. That's not the end of it. That's why I told you guys there's a part 2 to this, because I didn't finish telling you everything Thursday. After it's postmarked, if you want to send it to somebody and have them send it out as a gift from you, you put it inside. They have special sleeves for this. You get them, like 100 of them for $6 on Amazon. You put them in a see-through plastic sleeve after the postmaster has already stamped it, right? You put it in a plastic bag. I'm not going to do it, and waste your time. And then you seal it. And if it's already addressed in here, you can put it in the mail, and you can mail it with the plastic sleeve on it. However, if you are going to send it for somebody else to mail, what you do is you put a label on it, a different label. I'll show you what I mean. And it doesn't get written on. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Hold on. I'm just using April, for example. So if I was mailing this to her in Tanzania, I would put, for her to mail out, I would put my label. Do you see this? I will put my label on the outside. Once this is taped, you tape it down, then you give it to the postmaster. They can put it through and process with the plastic sleeve on it. I know you guys didn't know that. So, how many of you think that you could make how many of you think that you could make a postcard? I think we all could, now that you know. So now I would like to show you how to make a little bit fancier, like a quilted. Hey, Miss Shirley, OG Gardner, how are you doing? So I'd like to show you how to make a little bit fancier postcard. Oh, wait, let's have a little giveaway. Let's have a little giveaway. This is a little packet of Christmas fabrics. I call them crumbs. You could think one. I dare you, April. Okay. Bouger Prepper saying hello to Miss Shirley OG. Miss Shirley is a gardener, a little younger than me, quite a bit younger than me, in the same zone. She's been gardening a really long time. She cooks, she does all the big girl stuff that she's been doing all of her life. So, you guys, this is what you can do, like with a single piece of fabric for Thanksgiving or something. But a lot of people like to make Christmas cards. Everybody doesn't celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever you like. Because I had some red fabric that I was using for something else. April says, challenge accepted, Auntie Ellen. Thank you. Well, don't go away, you guys, because I'm going to tag some more of your butts up in here. Oh, mommy's watching. I shouldn't have said that. So here are some pretty fabrics in red. And I like to always have, you guys, when you start your sewing kits or whatever, always get like a yard of unbleached muslin or some black fabric, because it's a neutral and it matches everything. So this is the little giveaway kit that I'm going to send out. You can use it or give it to somebody who celebrates Christmas, or those who do. You can, when you're piecing these together, you can have multiple layers of fabric. You can have buttons on them. You know how I use the cowrie shells on my quilts? You can put those on them, and those, or as long as they're flat, not big shells, they will go through, or the little beads. So here are just some little pieces. I call them crumbs of it's a really nice Asian fabric. I don't know if you guys know, but Japan doesn't have a lot of land, so the fabrics they have over there are crazy expensive. Like the average pair of jeans is like $200 to $500. More little red fabric. This is something with little leaves on it. Just some fun stuff to mix and match. Multiple. This might be something that you can put on a kid's quilt. Just some black and white polka dot, just to break it up. Some little lambs. I guess these are poinsettias. So I will show you a way. I'm going to make some pieces and strips of fabrics that I've already cut, but this will go away in the giveaway bag. And April, all those scraps you have over there, all those African fabrics, I'm just green with envy. And here are like 2 9.5, 10.5 inch blocks of green neutral to mix and match with these. And then I will show you how you make like a strip quilt, a strip block, in just a minute. So is anybody in here interested in making a Christmas card? Yes, ma'am, Miss Shirley. It's the weekend. We up all night. Bouger. Tia African said he wants a challenge to make a quilt. Wait a minute. Okay, I missed that part. Tell me again, Bouger. Oh, not a quilt. Oh, a mini quilt. This is a quilt. What did I just do with it? The little thing I just made, that is a mini quilt. It's a mini quilt because what is a quilt? It's a fabric sandwich. It has a top, it has a backing, and it has batting. And that was a mini quilt. That was a mini quilt. That Mike's Chaotic Gardening is not in here tonight, but I have something for his butt. Oh, April, bless your heart. I hate to deny you a blessing. So, you know, Mike's Chaotic Gardening is always saying, "Oh, Auntie, I want this, I want that." So remember that ugly frog fabric? I found one little piece of fabric with a red and yellow frog on it. Anything he asked me for, this little red and yellow frog is going on it. It has his name on it. If I didn't say before, thanks everybody for coming. Welcome aboard the GQUAT family reunion bus, where good friends become family, and family is everything. Everything. So, April and you guys, you can, for those of you who are off grid, those of you who don't have heat and bond, any of that, or interfacing. Most countries have interfacing, but you don't have to do that. You can put a index card in it. You're not going to be washing it. It has fabric above it, fabric underneath it. All those frogs, Auntie Joanne said. You can put fabric beneath it. You can put a piece of index card in the middle. Just mind you, if you're hand sewing, you're going to be sewing through all these. And Marie Graham, if you use paper, it will dull your needle. You'll find that you have to change needles quite often. So now let's make a pretty. Let's make. Wait, no, I was supposed to be doing the drawing. How many of you are interested in making a Christmas card or some fabric? So these are called Christmas crumb fabrics. And Bouger, can you put start? Can you push start? Don't put any numbers down until Bouger puts start in the comments. And anybody who would like to win this package of fabrics, colorful fabrics, a nice index cards. Yes, index cards, or April, you can use cardstock, but no doubt that would be really hard to sew through. So if put a one in the chat if anybody would like these Christmas fabrics. If not, I'll just keep moving and keep sewing. Let you know when you have a number. Okay. Okay. I am going to write a number down. So Maria Graham said she would like some fabrics. Okay. Blissful Acres. Joanne Stevens. Okay. So I wrote a number down. I have the number. Bouger, can you push start, please? And I'm not going to announce the winner until I see it. I'm usually the last one to see it. And then I'll hold it up, and Bouger will, and Maria Graham and any other moderators can help me know when the number pops up. Okay, start. Everybody, put your number in. Put your number in. Get it while it's hot. Numbers, numbers, numbers. Get it while it's hot. Keep going. Oh, the numbers from 1 to 50. That was dumb. I didn't tell you. Numbers from 1 to 50. Keep going. Keep going. Cheryl Faulkner, are you going to sew something when you win this fabric? Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Numbers, 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 numbers. Keep going. More numbers. More numbers. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Some of you guys put the number I almost put down. That's funny, Joanne Stevens, 0. Keep going. Keep going. Hello, 10, the educated natural. Thank you for coming. We're putting in numbers to win some fabric. Martika, I see you. Thank you for coming and welcome. And the fabric is to make Christmas card. Oh, Martika got it. Okay, stop. Everybody push stop. Everybody push stop. So, Martika, we're going to hold you to it. Okay, stop. Bougie Prepper, put stop. And the number was, because it was her birthday yesterday, and triple threat, Tarsha, I put her real birthday on, just being devilish. So, before we announce Martika as the final winner, Maria Graham and Bougie, can you look and make sure? Okay, stop, Martika. Martika, we're going to hold you to it. Now, you win this fabric. We expect you to go back through the video. I don't know if you were in the bushes or not, and to make a card. Okay, Martika's over there walking, walking, walking. So is 42 the final number, you guys? Does anybody else have 42? Okay, so I'm going to put, I can make a mess when I'm sewing. I can make a mess when I'm creating. Can I, sissy? When I'm in your house, can I churn it up? Churn it up. Hi, Roscoe. Hello, Mike. Hello, everybody's husband and wife who's watching. I guess the pen is on the floor somewhere. That's okay. I have plenty. So, congratulations. Diversity Love. Okay, so I'm going to put Martika's name on this one. And no doubt she will have somebody come pick it up. For you guys who don't know, Martika lives in Connecticut. She's only about 15 miles from me. Every project makes a mess. I'm good at it. But guess what, you guys? I have, now my other pen comes out. I have 2 packs of fabric. So we're going to do it again. Except this time, Martika was in the bushes, just came in time. Congratulations, Martika. So we're going to do 2. We're going to have 2 packages. They're exactly alike. So, Bouger, can you please put start in? And this time, the numbers will be 1 to 25. 1 to 25. Because I don't think there are that many of you in here. And it's hard for me to tell. Okay, numbers 1 to 25. 1 to 25. Hello, Nikki. The everyday life of an OCD-ish check. Oh, wait a minute. What number did I put down? Okay. Oh boy, they're going fast. Okay, keep going. Numbers are 1 to 25. 1 to 25. 10, can you sew? You can do this project by hand. Okay. Actually, stop. Everybody stop. Everybody stop. Everybody stop. Okay. I don't know how you guys see them. Uh-oh. something 24. Okay, so it looks like the first person, and I'll hold the number up. It's one of my grandson's basketball numbers, and it is 24. 24. So 10, you won. And can you please email me at, oh, no, not that. Please. Okay, show. What am I doing? Okay. I have the banner. Just a second, you guys. Okay, the banner. Oh, there it is. So 10, there's my email address, ellenpanky@gmail.com. And if anybody would like to bless the channel, the Cash App is there. $ Ellen Panky 13 for Cash App. Okay, you guys. So now I'm going to show you how to make Hello Grammy's Journal. Hello Grammy's Journal. And 10. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how those of you who have a sewing machine and willing to use it. Okay, so now we'll make some really fun colors. I have a little scrap pack over here with some purples, with some African fabrics in it. So would you like me to make one out of that? The backing will be all the same. Okay. So now I've got everything on my normal filing system on the floor. So Martika, you can email me and let me know when you want your want to pick up your fabric. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is hand cut. Congratulations, 10 and Martika. What I'm going to do is cut some batting for another postcard. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because when you sew on these things, they get smaller, and then we'll trim it down to 4x6. So this is just a piece of cotton batting. Can't see the comments. The cotton batting. And let's make a pretty front this time. Not just like one pieces of fabric. And that's what makes it really nice. So I think what I'll do, oh, I like this. I like these little, what do you call it? Something on here. And I'm going to put that down in the center. And we're going to make a new front. So here's a little bag of scraps that I have. When I'm working on big projects, you guys, I take and I put little pieces in a little Ziploc bag and crumbs, And I don't think she's in the chat. She's probably working and listening, but um, unbiased. I sent her a bag. She said, Auntie, what were these for? Such little pieces, right? And that's what they were for doing little scrap projects like this. So I put this piece of red here, and I'm going to make a 1/4 inch seam. And I think I'll put a strip of black on each side. And when you're using scraps, there's no rhyme or reason. You do whatever you want to do. So I'm going to push the needle over. I'm going to increase the length. And I'm going to show you guys what I am doing. So when you're normally, like you're sewing clothes or some important things, you backstitch, but you don't have to backstitch when you're piecing. They call it assembly line or chain piecing. So that's the side. Then I just sewed this piece down, you finger press it, you just flip it back. You flip it back. And I'm going to trim this roughly. And I will put a piece of black on the other side. Why? Because I'm OCD-ish like Nikki, and I just like things to balance. So now we'll go on the other side. Now this is when it turns into a quilt April, because that's when you start putting the pretty colors on the back stitches. Okay. But you see how fast we made the other card by hand. Look how fast it goes by machine. Then we're going to flip this back. So, I don't like that. Oh, how about this? I like purple. So this was actually a piece off of Miss Mignon. And I'm going to cut it down the middle so I have a piece for each side. Roughly chop it. Move this stuff so that it doesn't get over there up against that iron. And see, these are like some pre-cut little pieces of fabric. This is actually unbleached muslin, because just whatever you're sewing, if you're sewing light fabrics, you might want to separate it with a neutral piece of something. And so you just have these little crumbs already cut for whatever reason. Okay, so now I'm going to put, I think you're going to be just a little bit too short. Yes, your little butt is. That's okay, we'll fix that. So now I'm going to put this. This one's going to be really pretty, you guys. And this is what you call strip piecing, because you're using little strips to go across. Then I'm going to push it back and finger press it. But see, it was just a little bit too short. That's okay. We're just going to put another piece of fabric on. And just because we don't want it to get too busy, we'll just stick another piece of red on. And there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just picking whatever pops in my head. Whatever pops in my head. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned it. The sleeves, you can mail these postcards just the fabric alone. But if you're mailing it, like when I send April's to Tanzania, I don't want to get all beat up with every post office between her and there. I'm going to put it in a plastic sleeve so that it will get there. And I want her to sign it. And I'll have something of her as a souvenir forever. Okay. So moving right along. So then we push this one back and finger press it. We don't really have to finger press it. Why? Because we have our handy dandy little travel iron. But you know what I like about this little iron? It doesn't turn off like the big iron does. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's just a little tiny travel iron that I use for arts and crafts. Okay, so now we're going over, and when you're sewing fabrics, you put right sides together. So see, I'm putting the new one on top. So this is the right side here. So I'm putting the new strip on the right side here. And again, I'm going to sew 1/4 of an inch. Okay. So 1 to go. And see, this isn't taking long. And you'll have something, a memento for forever. Forever, forever, forever. So now, this is the last hurrah. This seems almost too pretty. I hate to cut this guy up. See that? It really is a pretty piece of fabric. So when you have little things like that, you can save it and use it for something else. This is the same fabric, but I'm not cutting the guy in half. Oh. So down here. And you don't normally have to pin something this small, but you can if you want to. Okay, so this top is finished. So I'm finger pressing it down. But see, actually I got something caught on the other side. But it doesn't matter because it's on the inside. I would try to pull it off, but I'm not going to wreck this. And so we are going to take, and this is the front, but it's pretty rough. And we're not going to trim it yet though. Why? Because we have to make the front for it. So again, I can move this stuff out of the way. Why is it that I have 20 pens here until I get ready to write, and then they're all moved? Okay, so a postcard to look like a postcard, to look like this. This is what we're getting ready to do on a piece of unbleached muslin for the back. So since this is 6 inches, Or is it? So there were a couple that were funnies. Yep, that's 6 inches. Like in carpentry, you measure twice and cut once. We're not cutting, but we don't want this to be messed up. So that's the center line. And we're going to draw the lines for the names and address. And this is, I got a fine tip pen. It's a Pentel point liner, just because I knew I would be doing this project and I wanted it to be something that I could make thin lines and it wouldn't smear too badly. And you do your best to make them straight. If they're not straight, oh well. Okay, so there are the 3 lines. Actually, I'll take you over a little further so that you match the others. Then we're going to put postcard on here. POSTCARD. Then we're going to cut this piece the same size, except I want to get a piece of the adhesive. And remember the Heat and Bond? This is Heat and Bond Light, and what it is double-sided adhesive. So the rough side I put against the back of the fabric, the back side of the postcard. And again, we're going to heat seal it down. This little iron goes slow. But isn't this fun? And these are nice little gifts. These are nice little gifts. The little key fobs, the journal covers. There's so many things that you guys can do. It didn't go all the way down. It's not all the way. Taking too long. I'm going to go to the big iron. I'll be right back. It's so many layers. Okay. Coming. All right. So I know Nikki's not going on live tonight. So now this is heat set to here. I have to cool it down. Hi, Lisby Journey. Hey, Lydia, best yet. Lydia, I know you and your girls can do this. We're making postcards. We made some by hand. We're making one by machine now. Okay, so now this is a 2-sided. So when I put the rough side down and I heated it, it stuck. So then with double-sided, this is Heat and Bond Light. When it's cool, I peeled the paper off. And what do I have left? I don't know if you guys can see. Can you see how shiny it is? That's all the glue that it stuck to. So I'm going to try to put it in the middle of here. And I'm going to go back to the big ironing board, because by the time I walk over here and walk back, I would take the other one too long. So I'm just going to stick this down, and then we're going to zigzag around it, and it's a wrap. Okay. So here comes Auntie Ellen, and I'm going to put the top on these clips because I'm famous for knocking them down. So this is what happened. The back, you see it's all stuck. So now what we're going to do is take our scissors and cut it out. A standard US postcard is 4 inches by 6 inches. For those of you who just came in, I made a template out of an index card, and it's 4 inches by 6 inches. So now I'm trimming that pretty front that we just made against the back, just with regular scissors. Just regular scissors. You don't need anything fancy. But I want you to see, now this one is a postcard as well as a quilt. Why? Because a quilt has 3 layers, a top, batting, and backing. You see? How pretty is this? And then just to show you, actually, let me use my little Dollar Tree joint. And you see, it's 4 inches by 6 inches. So now what do we do to finish this? We're going to zigzag around the side. And what you're going to try to do is, no, that's a blanket stitch. I'm going to use a different stitch than I used the other day, 04. But I'm going to test it first to see if I like it. So in order to test it to see if I like it, when you have stitches that do, again, you can do this by hand if you want to. Like April, what we just did on the sewing machine, for those of you sewing by hand, Robin Murphy, hello Grammy's Journal. What I just did by sewing machine, flipping it and sewing it with the different fabrics, you can do this by hand easily, just as well. And it doesn't take that much longer. All you need is a little running stitch. So I'm going to do the number 4 decorative stitch here, and I'm doing it with black so that you can actually see it. Oh, cool. I like this. That's the one I should have done the other night. This one is fast. So this is what this zigzag looks like. So what I'm going to try to do is get it so that one edge of the stitch comes off so that when we go to the post office, it's stuck together. Although we put that little glue in there, so we know pretty much that it will. I'm not going to start on the edge. I'm going to start over here. And we're going to go around, and our postcard will be done. Now I'm going to go down this edge. Okay. And you can make it in as many pieces as you want, any kind of design you want. You can make it by hand, you can make it by machine. But this is something that people will treasure and keep forever. It's going to have the date hand stamped on there from the post office, the country you sent it from. I'm getting one from April in Tanzania. La la la. So before I get over here, I'm cutting this little string. Make sure that I don't get any tangles and knots and things. I'm going to backstitch if it will. Sometimes these fancy stitches don't backstitch. Oh, la la la. I'm so excited, you guys. So, this, oh, thank you, Nikki. Thank you. So something just happened. I don't know. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Uh-oh. Oh, there we are. Could you guys hear me the whole time? I got a message and it flipped me out of here. So look at this, you guys. You know how you go to those fancy places and they have the postcards there? Except I just noticed something. The temple's upside down, but what the heck? There's a temple on this side, but I didn't see that's what it was. But it's still a pretty fabric. And look at this. A handmade postcard. I don't think anybody would turn this down. Do you guys like it? Do you like it? So, this is how, hello, Odom. This is how you make a postcard. Now, for those of you who just came in the room, what you can do with this postcard, now that you made it, you address it to the person you're sending it to, or if you want to give them this for a gift. Say, for example, if I wanted to send this to April because we already have a challenge, she's going to make a postcard and mail it to me from Tanzania. I'm going to make her one, but I'm going to make her with some better fabrics than this. I'm going to make her a nice one. And I would take this to the post office. Listen to this part carefully. I will have them hand stamp it, right? Now, I would ask her, April, do you want to send this to somebody else? Or do you want me to write a little note? Dear April, I love you and Jay so much. Can I sleep at your house when I come to Tanzania and run out of money? No. Say, but if she says, Auntie, I want to send it to somebody else, what I would do is leave this blank, right? I would leave this blank. I would put it in an envelope, a clear envelope. You can buy them on Amazon. They're called 4x6 because, you know, that's the size of your postcard. And they're called postcard sleeves. This, just a regular sandwich size bag, it fits in. So you put it in here, right? And you put it in here. This is exactly what I would do if I were going to mail it. A sandwich bag might be cheaper. You don't have to buy the Amazon ones. Fold it over and tape it down. Now, what do you do over here? If you're not going to use it, you put your own label. I'll get another one just to show the people who just came in the room how you mail it. Just to show the people who just came in the room. If you didn't want to use your work of art, you wanted somebody else to be able to mail it, then you put this on it. It's okay if everybody sees it. It's my P.O. box. And then you mail it and they'll get it. Even with this side blank, they'll get it like that. So, you guys, did you like this? Did you enjoy this? How to make a postcard, how to mail it. And a postcard is the cheapest thing that you can mail anywhere because I'm trying to turn the banner off. Did it. So, whatever just a regular stamp is, this is and you have a work of art. How pretty is that? And you don't have to buy gifts for people. People, would you rather have something handmade or that was made with love, or something that you can buy yourself with your own money? You need one more pair of socks and one more whatever, right? I like handmade stuff. Bouger said that was awesome. Thank you. Great job, Penny. Yes, great idea. Looks great. And men sew, Odom. I heard another one of our favorite family members, and he was saying about protecting his manhood. Real men make things. They're not ashamed. Handmade. Everybody would prefer handmade. My family, my daughter says, "Mom, don't buy me anything. Mom, I don't need anything. Mom, I don't have room." And then as soon as I make her something, her Mother's Day gift is still here. Sonia, if you're watching over there with Grandma, she's with my mom today, but just because she hasn't gotten it. Sonia, if you're there, here's here are your Mother's Day gifts. This is a butterfly table runner. Look, see, for my daughter, her card. Oh, Auntie's late, but she gets there. And another little table runner in butterflies. So you see how nice this is? That's something that money can't buy. And she's going to love it. She said don't give her anything, but I made her something and she's going to love it. You love this so much, April. Thank you for the idea and the tutorial. I like handmade. So everybody, I will see you Thursday at 4 and I'll have another little project. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this out if you like it. This is something that's really nice. It's easy to do. And something, if somebody, when I get mine from April, I'm going to have it forever and ever and ever. So thanks for coming, everybody. Ego amote, Mom. I love you. I love you. Do what you love and love what you do, you guys. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you. And I will see you Thursday. All right. Where good friends become family and